We had just left the camp and had been walking around for 3 hours. Hey, how long is it gonna take to get what they was sent? That's what Sam said. He's the hunter, and we brought him along to track down Jack's missing crew. It should take around 2 days. That's what Mike said. 2 days? Calm down, Sam. We'll find him and bring him back. How do we even know they're still alive? Sam yelled. Calm down. Sam, please. The critters will hear us. I talked to Mark about how I felt that Sam was coming along with us. He's not a composed person, to say the least. He acts off his emotions, and he's not patient, which I considered weird because he's a hunter. Yet, he does calm down rather fast and easily. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. It's just, I know Jack really well. He's my friend, and I don't want to lose him. Yeah, we know. But you have to trust us, or it's not gonna work out. He's right, Sam. We have to keep our heads low and brains together. We can get through this. It was feeling really hopeless the more and more we thought about it. There's no way they're still alive. That's what all of us were thinking, but no one had the guts to say it other than Sam. We knew we had to try, and that's what we did. We tried. In war, there's always casualties. But in chaos, there are massacres. We had walked a fair bit before we decided to set up at a spot and sleep. Everyone was getting tired, excluding me. The others had been lazy walking all the way up to the point we set up. But I had to keep an eye out all the time. I felt like I was the only one paying attention. Everyone else was moving on autopilot, thinking of only one thing: save Jack and his crew. I don't blame them. They were giving themselves reason to keep going, but none of them knew the backrooms like I did. None of them had gone through the trials and tribulations of the unknown as much as I have. They were being careless, and I had to pick up the slack. I was full on energy, and I was glad because I kept watch while they slept. When they all woke up after around 5 to 6 hours of sleep, we kept walking. I told them that I had slept as well, but in reality, I was up all night. I was beginning to feel tired as soon as we started walking, but I kept paying attention, no matter what. I was watching every nook and cranny they weren't. I was worried about entities that might appear around the corner. The gravity switching any second, sure not to break my neck if my head hits the roof. Flashlight in hand, ready to fend off any happy faces. They were reckless, but I wasn't. That's what mattered. We were around 20 hours in when every light shut off. Unlike level 6, flashlights and cameras still worked, so we weren't completely in the dark. We had information, and that's all we needed. Mike was telling us where to go. He had the map that the scouts made. It took them a while to map out everything we know thus far, but I'm glad they did. Okay, where do we go here? Left or right? It says here that we take a right. You sure? This place looks weird. Unexplored. There's no markings on the wall. Let me see. Oh, you're right. Wait, is that blood? Are you serious? Yeah, as clear as day. The lights proceeded to turn back on, and stayed on. We could see the blood very well. And not only the blood, but where it came from. There was a dead horse, laying on the floor. No way. Is that? We were shocked. I had never seen anything like this before, and they all turned to me as if I had the answer to what we were seeing. I had nothing. It was anything but normal. I had never experienced something like this before. How did a horse get here? He was right, but that wasn't what I was thinking. I was thinking of the fact that someone had dragged a horse over 30 feet, let alone killed it. Maybe it wasn't someone. Perhaps something. Do you know what could have done this, Aiden? No, I have no idea. I've never seen anything like this before. It's no joke to drag something of that weight this far. Yeah, there's no way it was human. Are you saying it was a critter? Guys, look. Mike pointed at the back of the horse. On its back, there was a word smeared in blood. Inside. Do you guys see that line on its stomach? Yeah, is that not normal? No, it's not. What does it mean inside? I know what it means. I grabbed the knife out of the backpack that Mike was carrying and went to the horse. I checked its pulse just to make sure that it was dead. It was. I put the knife on the horse's stomach and started to cut the line. Oh, that's what it means. Mike started to gag and I wanted to throw up. The smell was horrible, and I had to back away for a second. There's something inside of it. Give it here, let me do it. I gave the knife to Sam, and he went to the horse. I trusted him. He skinned animals before, so I knew he could do it. We all watched in anticipation as he finished cutting the horse's stomach open. He grabbed the horse's flesh and revealed what was inside of it. Mike threw up when he saw. Mark gagged and looked away, and Sam started to vomit. I was in absolute shock. The head of Jack. Jesus. No, Jack. No. No way. What is this? It's torture. I'm going back. I can't stand it out here anymore. Mike gave me the map and he went back the way we came. He knew where to go. We had marked the pathing we took with occasional streaks of yellow tape. No, Mike, wait. Leave him. It's okay. I can't believe it. I can't believe he's dead. At that moment, I heard a bone snap. It came from where Mike was. It was very subtle, and I don't think the others heard it. I was worried because I didn't hear Mike yell or cry out in pain. And I didn't want to yell out to him because I knew what it might be. I heard flesh move. It was horrible. It sounded like skin stretching and tearing. They heard it too, but they didn't say anything. A couple minutes later of this sound, it stopped. We saw Mike turn the corner, and from a distance, it looked like him. Changed your mind? Yes, I would like to stay. I started shaking uncontrollably. That wasn't Mike. That's not Mike. What do you mean? It is him. No, it's a skin terror. They disguise themselves with the skin of their victims. I've never seen one so skinny. When it got closer, we started backing up, and it noticed. It started walking towards us faster. It was light because that was the first piece of skin that it wore. Everyone split up. It can't come for all of us, and its hearing is really bad. Just try and stay quiet, find a place to hide. It's smart. I think it used the horse as bait. It's gonna be fast, so don't be stupid. Outsmart it. How are we supposed to outsmart this thing? It's mimicking us. It's alright, Sam. Aiden knows what he's talking about. Alright, we'll meet up back here. If we're not all back here in an hour, something went wrong. If that happens, the remaining just go back to camp and don't send anyone back here again. Understand? Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Good luck. Run! Mark and I branched off from Sam. We went right and he went left. The skin terror followed us and started laughing maniacally. It was the worst thing ever. I was so scared that I didn't even focus on where I was going. Eventually, Mark and I split up, and we were all three separated. It followed Mark, and I stayed hidden behind a couch that I found. A few seconds after being there, I heard heavy footsteps. I didn't know if it was Mark, Sam, or the skin terror, but I didn't risk anything. I stayed behind the couch. The footsteps came back, running in the opposite direction. I knew it had to be the skin terror. I managed to calm myself down. Not sure how, but I did. I thought really hard about what my next move was. I knew its hearing was bad, but its eyesight was good. Also, its intelligence and sense of smell was a real concern. I can't believe it just used Jack like that. The older a skin terror gets, the better it is at mimicking voices. This one was young. I could tell from the amount of skin that it had. The mature ones always have around 50 to even 80 layers of skin that it's wearing. But this one just had Mike, and it might have had Jack as well. We only saw his head, so there's no way of knowing for sure. This one is smart though, and I'm sure it will learn to mimic voices very soon. It had been around 5 minutes. I planned on staying here, waiting for an hour to pass, then going back to the meetup spot. That plan was ruined when I remembered their sense of smell is just as good as a hound's.
No, Mark, wait. How are we supposed to outsmart this thing? No, it's a skin terror. They disguise themselves with the skin of their victims. Yeah. It's torture. I'm going back. I can't stand it in here anymore. It's torture. I'm going back. I can't stand it here anymore. Are you sure? This place looks weird, unexplored. There's no markings on the wall. Are you sure? This place looks weird, unexplored. There's no markings on the wall. Changed your mind? Alright, good luck. Run! Hey, how long is it gonna take to get where they were sent?
It was practicing. It was using the voices it heard and turning it into its own. I had to warn them somehow, but it was really close to me. I thought it knew where it was. I thought it was over. I heard Mark yelling. It wasn't the skin terror though, he was yelling somewhere else. If the skin terror was right here, why was he screaming? Is Sam okay? Is this a coordinated attack? Planning? This is too unreal. I slightly peeked from behind the couch. It looked clear, and the voices of the mimic were getting further away. I almost got out from behind the couch, but I stopped myself. Wait, what if there were two? Mark screaming could be a mimic, and the one right next to me could be another. It's trying to lure me out. I need to stay here. No, I can't. It's gonna smell me. I controlled my breathing and focused on the sounds around me. The mimic that was practicing voices wasn't getting any further away. That means it was trying to lure me out. It wants me to hear it. Mark's screaming stopped. I was trying to make sense of the situation, but it was so confusing. If there are two, that means that Mark and Sam are most likely safe. The worst case scenario, there are two skin terrors and they already killed Sam and Mark. Now they're going after me. They smelled me and they know my approximate location. Now they're trying to lure me out. Okay, it's the worst situation I could be in. By that logic, There must be some reason they haven't gotten me yet. If I do nothing, they should leave, eventually. It's been around 20 minutes since we got separated. If they don't leave soon, that probably means they already killed Mark and Sam. They wouldn't want them getting away. Wait, no. It definitely heard me say to meet up in an hour. It doesn't matter what it does right now. It only matters what it does in 40 minutes. If Mark and Sam are still alive, they might come to the same conclusion I did, but they don't know enough about these things yet. I need to communicate with them somehow. I wish we had radios. Can't believe this. No. It eventually will lose my scent and leave. Try to search for me another way. So what I need to do is wait for that moment when they walk away and go the way I came, to follow the path of Mark. If I can meet up with him, I have a way higher chance of survival. Then we can try to meet up with Sam and run back to the camp. At that moment, water started coming through the carpet. I read about this in the paper that the MEG wrote for this level. There are multiple events that can happen. This is one of them. The water itself is safe, but it raises all the way to the ceiling and stays that way for around 1 minute. Then it goes back down slowly. I knew this was my chance. I grabbed my bag, put everything in it, and got out from behind the couch. I heard movement in the water getting further away. I couldn't believe it. It was the movement from the skin terror waiting around the corner for me to leave the safety of the couch. I was so happy I realized that there too. It made me nervous though. Mark and Sam won't be able to tell. I only knew that there were two because of my experience, but they haven't dealt with these things before. If they find Sam and start mimicking the voices of Mark and I, he's gonna be lured out and killed. I need to find them, quickly, before the water rises all the way up. I trudged through the water, wondering where they could be. I walked for around 5 minutes when I could no longer walk on my feet. I had to swim. It had been around 30 minutes until we had to meet up again. I started to hyperventilate. It was too much to focus on, and I was too scared to think straight or calm myself down. I wish I never went looking for Jack and his crew. It was obvious. Our best explorer, not back on time. We should have known. I kept going. My head was almost at the ceiling. The water was about to fully reach the roof when all of a sudden, gravity switched. I was so disoriented. It took me a second to even figure out what had happened. The floor was now my air pocket, and the ceiling was the worst place to be. I quickly swam to the floor and breathed my last bit of air before the water completely submerged me. Right after this happened, gravity switched again, and the lights went out. I felt like I was going to throw up underwater. That would be the death of me. I was struggling to hold my breath around 20 seconds into it. I was moving a lot, and I needed to slow my heart rate down. I was using up too much oxygen. Around 30 seconds in, I wanted to take the deepest breath. At 40 seconds, I couldn't do it. I took a gasp for air. I didn't find anything, and started drowning. At 50 seconds, I knew I was about to die. At 55 seconds, the lights turned back on, and gravity switched yet again. I didn't know which way was up or which way was down. At 60 seconds, I felt air on my hands. I quickly swam up, put my mouth against the roof, and started to breathe. Not before I threw up, though. There was vomit on my face, going in my nose, back into my mouth, in my eyes. I submerged my head in the water to wash it all off, and went back up. I took the first good breath, and stayed there for as long as I could. I couldn't open my eyes. There was water everywhere, and I heard the yells of Sam. I didn't know if it was actually Sam, but I didn't care, and I wasn't thinking right. Thankfully, it was, and I swam to him. We met up and went looking for Mark. There's two of those things. Yeah, I know. They were mimicking the voices of you and Mark. I was running from them when the water started rising. I read about it in the page they give you. Thank goodness I did. I've been practicing holding my breath for a while. That makes one of us. Do you think Mark is alright? He's tough, but I can't be sure. We need to find him right now. Yeah, we do. You know where he is? He went this way when we split up. Good, hurry. We swam for around 2 minutes before we found him. Thankfully, he was face up in the water. It started to go down, and we could now stand on our toes. We had nowhere to lay him down for CPR. We decided that one of us would hold him up while the other pushed down on his chest. I was the one to push down on his chest, since the person underwater would have to hold their breath for a while. I was also the tallest, so it made sense. I pushed down on his chest as best I could. Doing CPR in school never felt more rewarding. He woke up and instantly started to vomit. He gasped for air, and Sam emerged from the water, gasping as well. The water eventually went back into the carpet and wood. The floors and walls were completely dry. Not a single bit of moisture anywhere. Our clothes were still wet, but I knew this was good because it would hide our smells from the skin terrors. We were walking back to the camp not 20 minutes after this happened, and we saw a skin terror on the ground. Holy crap. Is it alive? If you want to go check, be my guest. No one is going near that thing. It most likely drowned. It's young, so it's not fully developed. Its lungs are probably smaller than ours. Man, you know just how to cheer me up, Aiden. Oh, don't mention it. Guys, bad news. What? There's yellow tape here. Dang it. This is bad. Now we don't know where to go. Oh wait, it's alright. I still have the map. I grabbed the soaking wet map from my soaking wet bag and tried to see where we were going. I noticed the journal was also wet, and I examined it, but it seemed like it could still be salvageable. I'm just glad I didn't bring the camera. I followed the directions of the map, but at this point, I was about to pass out from sleep deprivation. I'm sorry, I can't keep going. Why? He's tired. He still hasn't fully recovered from his injuries. He just did CPR on me, and he didn't sleep last night. Well, I guess we can stop here. It looks safe, and there are a couple hiding spots. I'm sorry. I just didn't want us to... Wait. I just realized. The skin terror mimicked something right after we left 29.2. It mimicked you, Sam. What did it say? It said, hey, how long is it gonna take to get where they were sent? In your voice. You said that, right? Yeah, I did. That's freaky, man. It's been following us this whole time. If you didn't stay up when we slept, we would all be dead. I guess it's just one of the perks that comes with 14 years of experience. You got that right. 14 years? Oh, that's right. Let me tell you some stories about Aiden here while he gets some rest. Sleep well, Aiden. The moment you wake up or something strange starts to happen around here, we go to camp. Agreed. Thanks, Mark. Alright. So, Aiden and I actually met in level 4, the office area. Now, previous to this, I had been in level 0, 1, 2, and 3. It's a funny story. One time we were talking, and he told me that what I thought was in level 3 was actually level 4, because I found a secret exit. The elevator in level 2 actually leads to level 4, instead of level 3. I found this pretty funny, but he found me pretty stupid. But we proceeded to spend 2 years together before I got sick of that level and wanted to go to another one. I walked into level 5 when all of a sudden I slipped or fell through the floor. Now, this fancy pants over here calls it no clippers or something. Anyway, I fell straight into this level from level 5, the hotel. Now, Aiden, when he wanted to leave level 4, he walked straight into level 5 and stayed there for like 3 weeks or something. It's honestly incredible what he survived. It's no wonder he has the most experience with these types of things. He's a wonder. I woke up peacefully and full of energy. I was ready to move on and tackle the road ahead, and that's what we did. We started walking and talking our way back to camp. My hand is cramping up, so I'm gonna try and make this quick. We had been walking and were about halfway back to camp when gravity switched and the lights went out, both at the same time. We couldn't see it coming, and we couldn't have predicted it. None of us had our flashlights out, so we couldn't see, and we were basically blind. Thankfully, we all avoided our necks being snapped, but then the weirdest thing happened. Our backs hit the ceiling, and we fell back to the ground, because gravity switched for a second time in the span of just a few seconds. Long story short, Sam ended up breaking his leg when he landed for the second time, and Mark sprained his wrist trying to catch himself. I had to carry Sam the whole way. I took breaks and then kept going. Mark couldn't help because his wrists were hurting too bad, but we were almost at camp. I was keeping my eyes peeled. Who knows? We only saw one dead skin terror after all, and the other one might want revenge for all we know. I was watching even closer than I was before. Sam was groaning the whole way out of pain, and I don't blame him. The way I had to carry him couldn't have been comfortable to say the least. Mark pushed through the pain as well. He was holding the map, and it weighed slightly more because it was drenched in water. I felt bad for them, but I had a migraine, and I couldn't really focus on them. I had pushed myself too hard for the second time in a week, and I wasn't even fully recovered from my previous injury. Words are not enough to describe the sheer amount of pain I felt in my brain. I muddled through. The sore legs from walking, the sore lungs from panting and holding my breath, the sore arms from carrying Sam, the sore brain from thinking too much. It almost overwhelmed me. But I knew, if I can get through level 10, I can get through this. In the end, we made it. With no crew, no Jack, no energy, no Mike, and no hope. I took a shower and went to my room. I slept like a rock. I had nightmares that night, but I'm glad I don't remember them, because I know they were bad. I just can't remember the details. Yesterday was one of the worst experiences of my life. I have so many questions. Why was there a horse in the backrooms? What did Mike see before he died? How smart have entities gotten? Was it really dead? These are just a few of the questions I have about that night, and I have yet to process everything that did happen. Mike's death being one of them. I really liked Mike. He was the best. He was scared all the time, which explains why he ran off. If only I didn't let Mark stop him from leaving. The last thing I need right now is guilt. I refuse to take the blame. If I did, I would cease to function, and I can't lie about that. I won't be going on another expedition for a while. Sam is in the medical room, and Mark is healing up fine. But our physical bodies are the last thing we're worried about. For now, this is Aiden, signing off. Chapter 7.